In the heart of the Danish countryside, a group of archaeologists sifted through layers of time, unearthing ancient secrets buried in trash heaps. These weren't just any trash heaps. They were the discarded remnants of prehistoric life, the forgotten middens of our ancestors. Imagine for a moment that you are one of those archaeologists, digging through layers of oyster shells, flint tools, and animal bones. Each piece tells a story that challenges everything we thought we knew about our past. For centuries, history was a linear tale of kings, wars, and great civilizations. The ancient world was seen through the lens of grand palaces and golden treasures, but this perspective was about to change. In the mid-19th century, a young Danish archaeologist named Jens Jacob Worsaae embarked on a journey that would revolutionize our understanding of human history. His mentor, Christian Eugensen Thomsen, had already laid the groundwork with the three-age system dividing human history into the Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. But Worsaae's work would take this idea to new heights. At the tender age of 15, Worsaae became Thomsen's assistant at the National Museum of Denmark. Over the next 4 years, he spent his holidays digging into the ancient barrows of Jutland, uncovering evidence that would confirm and expand Thomsen's theories. Worsaae's passion for the outdoors and his athletic temperament made him the perfect complement to Thomsen's museum-oriented approach. In 1840, at just 19 years old, Worsaae published an article that not only confirmed Thomsen's three-age theory, but also suggested that these ages were not just confined to Denmark, but were universal. Worsaae's work was not just about confirming theories. It was about exploring the everyday life of our ancestors. He believed that the key to understanding the past lay not just in the grand tombs of kings, but in the mundane trash heaps of ordinary people. These kitchen middens, or middens as they were called, were the gateways to a more complete and vivid understanding of prehistory. They provided a window into the daily lives of people who lived thousands of years ago, revealing what they ate, how they lived, and what tools they used. In 1849, a wealthy Danish landowner named Olsen was improving his estate called Melgard on the northeast coast of Jutland. During the construction of a road, his workmen stumbled upon a layer of oyster shells mixed with flint tools and animal bones. One small bone object, shaped like a four-fingered hand, caught their attention. It was clearly the work of human hands, perhaps a comb. Intrigued, Olsen sent the object to the museum in Copenhagen, where Worsaae's curiosity was piqued. Worsaae realized that these shell heaps could be more than just random accumulations of waste. They could be the remains of an ancient community's daily life. He hypothesized that these middens were the eating places of the Stone Age people, where they gathered to share meals and discard their waste. The shells had all been opened, indicating that they were not just washed up from the shore, but were deliberately collected and consumed. Worsaae's theory sparked a heated debate among scholars. Some argued that the shell heaps were merely picnic sites, and the best tools were left elsewhere. To resolve the issue, the Danish Academy of Sciences appointed a commission, including Worsaae, a zoologist, and a geologist, to study these shell heaps. The commission concluded that the shell heaps were indeed kitchen middens, providing a new and vivid glimpse into the daily lives of prehistoric people. The discovery of these kitchen middens was not just a scientific breakthrough, it was a cultural phenomenon. The public's interest in antiquities was growing, thanks to the efforts of Thomsen and Worsaae. The question of whether the Stone Age should be divided into two distinct stages, early and late, became a topic of public debate. The King of Denmark, Frederick VII, even got involved, excavating middens on his own estate and writing a monograph on his findings. In 1861, King Frederick summoned the leading scholars to a grand meeting at Melgard to settle the issue. The event was more than just a scholarly conference. It was a royal spectacle, with banquets, dancing, and triumphal arches. During the excavation, Worsaae and his team found hundreds of stone implements among the oyster shells, not a single one of which was polished. This confirmed his theory that the kitchen middens belonged to an earlier, more primitive stage of the Stone Age. The meeting concluded with Worsaae's victory, and the concept of the early Stone Age, or Mesolithic period, was officially recognized. The discovery of kitchen middens and the confirmation of the two-stage Stone Age had far-reaching implications. It suggested that human history was not a simple, linear progression, but a complex tapestry of different stages and cultures. The idea of prehistory, once a vague and mysterious concept, began to take shape. Prehistory was no longer a dark, undifferentiated period, but a vast and rich epoch with its own distinct phases and characteristics. The concept of prehistory was further popularized by the 1867 Universal Exhibition in Paris, where an extensive collection of prehistoric artifacts was displayed. The official guide to the exhibition highlighted 3 key lessons from prehistory: the law of human progress, the law of similar development, and the high antiquity of man. The term prehistoric entered the popular vocabulary, and the idea of a vast, ancient past began to take root in the public consciousness. One of the most influential figures in popularizing prehistory was John Lubbock, later known as Lord Avebury. His book, Prehistoric Times, 1865, coined the terms Paleolithic and Neolithic for the Old and New Stone Ages, respectively. Lubbock's work was widely read and helped to integrate prehistory into the broader narrative of human evolution. He argued that the development of human culture was a gradual process, with each stage building upon the previous one. The idea of prehistory was not just a scientific curiosity, it had profound philosophical and social implications. It challenged the traditional view of human history as a series of discrete, disconnected events. Instead, it suggested that human history was a continuous, evolving process, with each age building upon the achievements of the previous one. This idea of progress, which was also central to the work of philosophers like John Stuart Mill and Herbert Spencer, became a dominant theme in 19th century thought. The concept of epochs or ages in history, which had been used by the early church fathers to divide time into prophetic stages, was now being applied to secular history. The idea of a Renaissance as a distinct epoch in European history, characterized by the discovery of the world and the discovery of man, was a powerful example of this new way of thinking. The Renaissance was seen as a period of great cultural and intellectual ferment, a time when Europe emerged from the Middle Ages and laid the foundations for modern civilization. The idea of epochs or ages in history provided a framework for understanding the past and making sense of the present. It allowed historians to group together events, ideas, and institutions that shared common characteristics, and to identify patterns and trends. This approach was not without its critics, who argued that the labels could sometimes become more important than the events they described. However, the advantages of this method far outweighed the risks. It helped to bring order to the complex and often chaotic tapestry of human history, making it more accessible and understandable. The discovery of prehistory and the concept of epochs in history had a profound impact on the way people thought about their place in the world. It expanded their horizons, making them realize that their own age was part of a long and continuous process of human development. This realization had both positive and negative consequences. On the one hand, it fostered a sense of progress and optimism, the belief that human civilization was constantly improving and moving toward a better future. On the other hand, it also raised difficult questions about the nature of human progress and the role of individual and collective action in shaping history. One of the most significant implications of prehistory was the challenge it posed to religious and philosophical beliefs. The idea that human history extended back thousands of years, far beyond the biblical date of creation in 4004 B.C., was a radical departure from traditional thinking. It suggested that human beings had a much longer and more complex past than previously imagined, one that could not be explained by a single divine intervention. This idea was particularly troubling to fundamentalist Christians, who saw it as a threat to their beliefs. The discovery of prehistory also raised important questions about the nature of human progress. Was progress a linear and inevitable process, or was it more complex and cyclical? Could progress be measured in terms of technological and scientific advancements, or were other factors, such as cultural and spiritual development, equally important? These questions continue to be debated by scholars and thinkers today. In the end, the discovery of prehistory and the concept of epochs in history were not just academic exercises. They were transformative ideas that changed the way people thought about the world. They expanded our understanding of the past, enriched our appreciation of the present, and offered new possibilities for the future. By uncovering the hidden dimensions of history, we have gained a deeper and more nuanced understanding of our place in the world and the forces that shape our lives. So, the next time you walk through a museum or read about the ancient world, remember the trash heaps of the past. They may seem insignificant, but they hold the keys to our collective history, a history that is as rich and complex as it is fascinating. The story of humanity is not just a tale of great kings and monumental achievements. It is also a story of everyday people, their struggles, and their triumphs. And it is a story that continues to unfold, one layer of time at a time.